Hello and welcome to the Arachnos podcast. I'm Laura Palczynski and I'm joined today by Maria Garnett from iFoam EU. So Maria is going to tell us a little bit about another cross exchange visit that she's conducted. So Maria, introduce the topic, please.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to see you again. So as iFoam Organics Europe, we are involved in several research projects and are coordinating a thematic network that is called Organic Knowledge Network on Monogastric Animal Feed, or short OKNet EcoFeed. And this is about helping farmers, breeders, and also the organic feed processing industry to achieve the goal of 100% of organic and regional feed for monogastrics, in particular pigs, broilers, and laying hens. So the first digital cross-exchange that we organized for Arachnos took place within the framework of the annual project meeting of OKNet EcoFeed, which was at the end of May, and via GoToTraining. The EcoFeed project, it builds on the experiences of another thematic network called OKNet Arable. This is about organic arable cropping. And so this made it possible to bring together the knowledge of two thematic networks. And the cross visit itself, it aimed at sharing best practices that innovation groups of the TN EcoFeed identified. And furthermore, we involved end users, in particular farmers and advisors, who also gave a fresh impulse to the exchange between EcoFeed partners and also provided insights into how good practices can best be shared within the agricultural communities. And thus, the aim was also to generate methodological and organizational indications for successful online meetings beyond the technical topics that we discussed.
Perfect. So as part of Arachnos, you were responsible for organising two cross-exchange visits. So how did you decide what topics you could cover and whether those would complement each other?
Yes, so this first cross visit was about the OKNet EcoFeed practical experiences and experiments by the innovation groups. And then the second cross visit, it further built on the results of this project, because OKNet EcoFeed and OKNet Arable together, they established a knowledge platform called Organic Farm Knowledge. And the second cross visit looked into this platform more deeply and identified the best practices for such knowledge platforms, and also how to improve the platform itself.
Great. So who attended this first cross-exchange visit? You said about that it was attended by farmers, but how did you engage them and get them involved with this cross-exchange?
Yeah, so the project meeting was originally planned to be held in Denmark and to include field trips to various farms. And then due to the COVID situation, we changed it to an online event, which was very well attended by over 80 participants from different European countries. And invited were all the partners of the TN EcoFeed, as well as 3 topic-related operational groups. One is BioBig from Flanders and Belgium about organic pig feeding, and the other 2 are from France about testing the cultivation of forages and also securing and increasing the production of leguminous grains. And so we invited also these operational groups, and then all the partners also forwarded the email invitation to their networks. So in the end, over 100 people registered and over 80 participated.
Oh, that's really good. So you said that it was originally planned to be an in-person event. So how did you end up structuring the online event to keep that engagement?
Yeah, so we structured the webinar into 4 parts. So after an introduction to OKNet EcoFeed and the Arachnos cross exchange, we gave an overview of the lessons learned in research and trials performed in the different research projects. And a Danish organic farmer shared his experiences in producing and selling clover grass protein. And then the innovation groups, they shared their experiences from the practical experiments. This was followed by a video session where farmers from the UK, Denmark, and France provided practical insights into new types of locally produced organic feed. And then the third part consisted in a discussion with the participants on local and climate-friendly green protein for pigs and poultry. And this was complemented by the very active use of the chat in the GoToTraining tool. But as there was not enough time during the cross visit itself, the speakers were also asked to answer the written questions in the chat after the webinar, and then the participants were sent the minutes with a Q&A. And then the webinar ended with a presentation of the online platform Organic Farm Knowledge that I mentioned earlier.
Great. So did you conduct any sort of feedback, or did anyone give any feedback on the event and how it went?
Yes, so we gathered feedback in two different ways to evaluate the online meeting and also to identify potential for improvement. So first we collected oral feedback during the EcoFeed project meeting on the following day by asking the participants directly for their impressions. And in addition, I had created a feedback survey and included the survey link in the follow-up email to all the participants.
Yeah. And what kind of feedback were you getting? Was it largely positive, or were there some pointers as well?
Yes, so most of the participants were very satisfied with the webinar and cross-exchange in general, and also with the tool that we used. And the results also indicate how online meetings with farmers should be organized to best reach and engage with end users. They will also feed into the practical recommendations in the form of practice abstracts.
So based on that, that feedback and also your own experience, what do you think worked really well? Or would there be anything that you might avoid doing if someone was doing another cross-exchange visit online?
Yes, so what was very well received was the organization, including some short breaks and the presentations. And the participants also remarked that they appreciated the diversity of subjects, good complementarity of topics, and the interesting content, including videos, testimonials, and so on. And the discussion itself was well facilitated. The participants contributed very actively, also via the chat. And they also value the possibility to interact, for example, through the online Q&A. And they also stated that a high attendance can be reached through online meetings. Even more people participated than in a physical meeting, especially advisors who not generally attend such meetings. And the large number of questions shows also the interest of the participants in the topics and also in specific findings of the innovation groups.
That's some really good points about what the added value of actually doing cross exchanges online are. Do you think that there was anything maybe missing from being unable to do it in person though?
Yes, so what was also remarked is that there was not enough time for real discussion and also the presentations. So participants, for example, stated that they were waiting too long in advance of the meeting, and then there should have been more time for the presentations and discussion, but it was already quite a long meeting for an online meeting, so this was or should be maybe complemented with far more field trials or visits. And also good visuals are needed, so videos, pictures, and discussing questions that could partly compensate for the language barrier, because it was also remarked that translation options should be considered, in particular for meetings with farmers. So simultaneous translation would be helpful in this case. And also online tools should ideally run on smartphones with little data consumption. And yeah, so in general, I think it would be good to combine digital cross visits with presential ones on the farms.
Absolutely. And will these findings you've got, these best practices for online meetings as they were, will these be made available as resources as part of Euracnos?
Yes, they will be made available as 5 practice abstracts.
That's great. So those will be available on the Euracnos website in due course. So thanks for taking the time to speak to me today then, Maria.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The Euracnos project has received funding from the European Union's Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Programme under Grant Agreement number 817863.
Royalty-free music from Ben Sound.